Class, India got the independence on 15 August 1947. And after the independence, India have so many challenges. And after the independence, India the was have a challenge as an international level and domestic level also. So after the independence, what will be the foreign policy of a country? So foreign policy of any, this is a question, okay, for our leaders. And foreign policy of any country class, it was determined by the international context and also at the domestic level. What are the circumstances in our country? Both are the things decided the foreign policy of a country. Class, we are on that occasion, the country was have a problem कि the nation are going to integrate it. So according to domestic and international circumstances, the foreign policy of a country was determined. Class. So India at the time of independence, the world was come out after the Second World War, and most of the countries like Europe, like Britain and France, was in the process of restructuring. They restructured their economy with the help of USA. According to Marshall Plan, Britain and France and European countries was going to restructure their economy after the destruction of Second World War. So, and the work, the structuring of UNO was under the process. UNO is working as an international organization and now it was going to start their work as an international level. So, and after the Second World War, the world is divided into two blocks, US and USSR. And India have a challenge ki how India fruitfully handle these two superpower. So after the independence, we choose the path of NAM, not alignment movement. Ki we keep the distance from both blocks and we will plan our economy according to our needs. We cannot obey the US or USSR and their economic model. We make our economic model according to needs of our country. So after the independence, we will going to make a foreign policy of India is like which fulfill the needs of India. We choose the principle of NAM. We follow the principle of Panchasheel principle, and we will trying to make the healthy relation from all the countries across over. And class, in India, our internal circumstances was very bad. We have a challenge of economic development, also the well-being of the poor peoples, ki how we establish democracy in our country, how we doing the welfare work of our country. So after the independence, we have a challenge in our country ki how we establish democracy and how can do the welfare of poor section of our people. So according to this, we made our foreign policy. We avoid the imports and encourage our domestic producers to make India economically independent country. And we are maintaining peace and harmony with our neighbors by the respect of the sovereignty of all other nations, and to achieve security through the maintenance of peace. Okay, India was decided to respect the sovereignty of all the other nations and to achieve security through the maintenance of peace. We secure of our nation with the friendship and fruitful relation with the other neighboring countries. The aim find an echo in our directive principle of state policy. In class, in directive principle of the state policy, according to Article 51, our constitution was give some guidelines for the states, like the states shall endeavor to first is promote international peace and security. The states shall endeavor to promote international peace and security. Next is maintain just and honorable relation between the nation. Maintain just and honorable relation between the nation. Foster respect for international law and treaties. Obligation in the foreign for class, both internal and external factors are guided the foreign policy of any country class. So at the international level, India faced the many challenges like our neighboring is also class after the independence we had the two superpower US and USSR are existence in the world. So we have a option ki how we have a we want to take the decision ki we will take the equal distance from the two camp. US, which follow the idea of capitalism and liberal democracy, and the second one is USSR, which follow the idea of socialism and oppose the capitalism and follow the communism. So class, we have a challenge of these two countries, so we make the equal distance from two camps. We choose the path of NAM, and on those days, decolonization process was in progress. Many Asian African countries were got the independent, and India was trying to convince them that they come together because their problems are same. For the third nation countries, their problem is same. So there is a need to convince them for a Afro-Asian conference, means a need of cooperation between the Asian African nation class. Now we will discuss about the foreign policy of India. Ki in the Indian Constitution, in the Article 51, in our Indian Constitution, in the directive principle of state policy, in Article 51 saying about ki what will be the foreign policy of India. In this saying, some points ki Article 15(1) of the Indian Constitution lay down some directive principle of the state policy on promotion of international peace and security. So this is the state shall endeavor to promote इंटरनेशनल पीस एंड सिक्योरिटी, मतलब राज्य जो है अंतर्राष्ट्रीय शांति और सुरक्षा को बनाए रखने के लिए प्रयास करेगा एंड मेंटेन जस्ट एंड ऑनरेबल रिलेशन बिटवीन द नेशन, राष्ट्रों के बीच में न्यायपूर्वक और सम्मानजनक संबंधों को विकसित किया जाएगा। फोस्टर रेस्पेक्ट फॉर इंटरनेशनल लॉ एंड ट्रीटीज़, जो इंटरनेशनल लॉ एंड ट्रीटीज़ हैं उसका रेस्पेक्ट किया जाएगा। एंड ऑब्लिगेशन इन द डीलिंग ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइज पीपल विथ वन अनदर, दुनिया के जो पीपल्स एक दूसरे एक तरीके से ऑर्गेनाइज हैं तो वो कैसे इनका पालन करें और इसे उनका पालन हो पाए, इसको भी मैनेज किया जाएगा। इंकरेज सेटलमेंट ऑफ द इंटरनेशनल डिस्प्यूट बाय आर्बिट्रेशन, मीन्स दुनिया के जो इंटरनेशनल डिस्प्यूट है उसको बातचीत के जरिए सॉल्व किया जाएगा। कोशिश की जाएगी कि हर कंट्रीज़ को ये समझाया जा सके कि देश के बीच में जो विवाद है उसको निपटारा किया जाए। सो according to directive principle of state policy, these guidelines are available for a state कि राज्य को क्या क्या करना चाहिए इंटरनेशनल पीस और हार्मनी को मेंटेन करने के लिए। देखो क्लास, पॉलिसी ऑफ नॉन अलाइनमेंट, यह क्या है ये जानो थोड़ा सा। क्लास तो वर्ल्ड में दो सुपर पावर थी, यूएस यूएसएसआर। तो इंडिया के सामने चैलेंज थे कि भाई इंडिया की फॉरेन पॉलिसी कैसी हो। इंडिया न तो यूएस के साथ जाना चाहता था न यूएसएसआर के साथ, बिकॉज इट वाज अगेन स्टार्टेड द न्यू कॉलोनाइजेशन। और इंडिया ने जो 5 नवंबर का चुना नॉन अलाइनमेंट मूवमेंट। और देखो क्लास, दुनिया में और भी चुनौतियाँ थी, लाइक कुछ कंट्रीज़ न्यूक्लियर वेपन्स बना रहे थे, ठीक है, और यूएनओ इस्टेब्लिश हुआ था, कम्युनिस्ट चाइना धीरे धीरे ग्रो कर रहा था, और बिगनिंग ऑफ डीकोलोनाइजेशन की प्रक्रिया स्टार्ट थी। एशिया और अफ्रीका के बहुत सारे कंट्रीज़ कॉलोनियल पीरियड से आज़ाद हो रहे थे। और So India's leadership has to pursue its national interest with the prevailing international context। तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में जब दुनिया में दो महान ताकतें खड़ी हैं तो इनके अगेंस्ट हमारी गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया, एक ऐसा रास्ता अपनाया जो हमारे नेशनल इंटरेस्ट, हमारे राष्ट्रीय हितों की पूर्ति करती हो। एक ऐसी इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी जो हमारी ज़रूरतों के हिसाब से बनी हुई हो। इंडिया वाज प्लानिंग दिस एंड हमारे जो इंडिया की फॉरेन पॉलिसी थी उसका एम था कि हम अपने कंट्रीज़ के नेशनल इंटरेस्ट को कैसे पूरा करें, राष्ट्रीय हितों की पूर्ति कैसे हो। क्लास, यह मेन था। तो क्लास हमें यह चीज़ें नैम में मिली। नैम एक ऐसा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन था जो 30 वर्ल्ड की कंट्रीज़ का था जिनकी प्रॉब्लम एक जैसी थी, पॉवर्टी, इलिटरेसी, मैल न्यूट्रिशंस, लो इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट। तो देयर प्रॉब्लम्स आर सेम। सो दुनिया के इन कंट्रीज़ को एकजुट करके नैम का फाउंडेशन हुआ। एशिया अफ्रीका के देशों को एक साथ जोड़ा गया और नैम का फाउंडेशन किया गया। नैम के फाउंडेशन की बात बैंडूंग कॉन्फ्रेंस 1955 में स्टार्ट हो गई थी और इसका नैम का फर्स्ट समिट सितंबर 1961 में बेलग्रेड में इंडोनेशिया के कैपिटल में हुआ। क्लास जो इंडिया की फॉरेन पॉलिसी थी उसमें फर्स्ट नैम, द पॉलिसी ऑफ नैम, जो नैम थी, हम दोनों ही कैंप से इक्वल डिस्टेंस, बराबर दूरियां बनाए रखना चाहते थे और एक ऐसी इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी जो हमारे कंट्रीज़ की नीड को पूरी करती हो। क्लास इसमें नेहरूज रोल इज वेरी important because Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister. He was a very experienced and leader as an international level. So he was using his experience and he was put the foreign department with them, and he will try to give India best foreign policy. He used his experience. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was their own foreign minister. He was prime minister from 1946 to 1964 till their death. He was a prime minister and also the foreign minister. He put the foreign minister with them, and he was the three major objectives of the Nehru foreign policies were to preserve the hard-earning sovereignty. हमें इतनी मुश्किल से जो भी संप्रभुता मिली है उसको हमें प्रोटेक्ट करना है। प्रोटेक्ट टेरिटरियल इंटीग्रिटी, हमें अपनी टेरिटरियल इंटीग्रिटी को भी प्रोटेक्ट करना है। एंड प्रमोट रैपिड इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, और हमें रैपिड इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट को भी प्रमोट करना है। नेहरूज विश टू अचीव दिस ऑब्जेक्टिव थ्रू द स्ट्रेटेजी ऑफ नॉन अलाइनमेंट, और पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू ये सब चीज़ें नैम के थ्रू हासिल करना चाहते थे। क्लास अपने कंट्री का रैपिड इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट वो कर पावें, और जो हमने इतनी मुश्किल से जो सोवरेनिटी पाई है और हम अपने जो टेरिटरियल इंटीग्रिटी है उसको बनाए रख सकें, और यह सारी ही चीज़ें नैम के थ्रू हो सकती थी। दैट इज़ वाई पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू वॉज अडॉप्टेड द नैम, एंड सम other leaders like Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar were also saying India should follow the America, US, because India is a democratic country and USA is also a democratic country. So many were suggest India should follow the US because US is a pro-democratic country. Or Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar and some political parties also want. On the other place, some another political parties were opposed the communists and wanted India to follow the pro-US policy. These include the Bharatiya Janata Sangh and later Swatantra Party. So among who thought on these lines were the leader like Dr. Ambedkar want to India should be follow the US, and some political parties which were opposed to communism also wanted to India follow the pro-US foreign policy. It is included in the Bharatiya Janata Sangh and later Swatantra Party, but Nehru was follow a flexible path. India was keeping equal distance from both the camp, and India was always trying to reduce the tension of Cold War between the two blocs. India in the world was divided into two camps. For in the first camp, the US was the leader, and they follow the idea of liberal democracy, and US want to institution of private property and free market economy. The state interference is minimum. On the other hand, second block is the US, and he was follow the ideal of socialism and communism. He opposed the capitalist ideology. Class US established a NATO, and in response to this, USSR was established a Warsaw Pact to challenge the NATO, to counter the NATO. So on the situation of tension, India followed the NAM. India was making equal distance from the two camp, but India was not always balanced, because sometime India favored the USSR, because when the Britain was attacked on the Egypt on the issue of Suez Canal, and when Britain was attacked on the Egypt on the case of Suez Canal, so India was criticized. But the USSR was attacked on Hungary, so on that time India was not criticized. So class India was not behaving a balanced foreign policy, and many times someone saying India was pro USSR, because during the tension with the Pakistan, during the crisis of Bangladesh, India was signed the 20-year peace agreement with the USSR. So many were saying that India was pro USSR class. So this was a very complicated situation. India is saying to world to come and follow the NAM, and India not itself fully honestly follow the policy of NAM. And India was also convincing the Asian and African countries to making Afro-Asian unity class. Next topics class Afro-Asian unity. Class Afro-Asian unity. Class during the colonial period, Nehru was a fast friend of the Sukarno and Nasi. They are the fast friends. So after the independent, India was trying to convince these Asian or African countries in a unity, and in the Bandung conference, Pandit Nehru was convinced newly independent countries of Asia and Africa, because they have a same problem of economic development. So he was convinced these countries for because they are same problem, and if they come together to help to each other, and this discourage the decolonization, this discourage the again colonization, new colonization, because these new independent countries have a same problem, so they have a need to cooperation to make their policy independent. So in Bandung conference, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was convinced most of the Asian African countries to come up and make an organization. After this, NAM was set up. First summit was held on September 1961 in Belgrade, and This was a peak of African Asian unity कि the newly independent countries in Africa and Asia were come together and face the challenges of the world and share the problem which they have for the economic development and help to each other class.